A wealthy restaurant owner walked into his own place disguised as a regular customer. And everything changed after 3 simple words from a waitress. Before we begin the story, leave a comment and tell us what city you're watching from. And at the end, don't forget to rate this story from 0 to 10. Enjoy the story! You look exhausted. Just 3 words, simple, casual. But they were said so naturally that Caleb Mercer froze for a moment, his coffee cup halfway to his lips. The waitress stood beside his table, looking straight at him. Her eyes were warm, curious, almost amused. The name tag on her dark red apron read, Sienna Brooks. Everything about her felt out of place in the restaurant. Not wrong, just different. While the rest of the staff moved quietly, carefully, as if afraid to make a mistake, she stood relaxed, confident, almost rebellious. Tired? Caleb repeated, lowering the cup slowly. Yeah, she said, resting her notepad against her hip. You've got that look. Someone who works too much and sleeps too little. The kind of person who thinks coffee can fix everything. Caleb smiled faintly. Maybe it can. She shook her head with a soft laugh. The coffee here is strong, but it's not a miracle. Then she walked away toward the counter. Caleb watched her go. There was something magnetic about Sienna, an energy that didn't match the dull, tense atmosphere of the restaurant. The place looked warm. Wooden tables, soft lighting, charming decor. But something felt off. And Caleb knew why he was here. 2 months earlier, he had purchased the restaurant, the Marigold Table. On paper, it had potential. Good location, solid menu, loyal neighborhood. But the numbers told a different story. Staff turnover, customer complaints, declining profits. Reports didn't explain everything, so Caleb decided to see the truth for himself. He came in without telling anyone who he really was. No assistant, no luxury watch, no tailored suit. Just another customer with a notebook hidden inside his jacket. Sienna returned with his coffee and placed it gently on the table. Careful, she said with a playful smile. It's strong enough to wake up the owner of this place. Caleb almost laughed. I hope so. She winked and stepped away. A moment later, the atmosphere changed. A heavy presence entered the dining room. A middle-aged man with a sharp expression and a loud voice emerged from the kitchen. His name was Gordon Pike, the manager. Sienna? His voice cut through the room. I told you to clean the back booths 20 minutes ago. Or did you forget how to do your job? The restaurant went quiet. Other employees avoided eye contact, pretending to stay busy. No one wanted to be involved. Sienna turned slowly. I'm cleaning them. I just stopped to serve a customer. She gestured lightly toward Caleb's table. That's what servers do. Gordon stepped closer. Don't talk back. You think you're funny? Everyone here is tired of your little jokes. Caleb tightened his grip on the cup. This wasn't discipline. It was humiliation. But Sienna didn't back down. I'm just trying to do my job with a little humor, she said calmly. Since someone insists on keeping this place as cheerful as a funeral. A couple of nearby customers tried to hide their smiles. Gordon noticed. You should learn to shut your mouth and do what you're told, he snapped. Caleb felt anger rise in his chest. Every instinct told him to step in, to end it. But he stayed silent. He needed to see everything. Sienna tilted her head slightly. "Funny thing," she said, almost smiling. "Shut up and obey isn't part of my job description." That was enough. "One more comment," Gordon snapped, "and you'll be serving coffee on the sidewalk." "Better than serving you," she replied, turning away. Gordon glanced at Caleb, expecting support. "I apologize, sir," he said stiffly. "Some employees don't understand respect." Caleb looked at him calmly. "I think the service has been great. In fact, she's the only one in here actually smiling." Gordon hesitated, then muttered something under his breath and stormed back into the kitchen. Sienna let out a quiet breath and looked back at Caleb. "Sorry you had to see that. He loves turning morning shifts into nightmares." "No need to apologize," Caleb said. "You handled it well." She smiled tiredly. "If sarcasm were a skill, I'd be promoted by now." She asked if he wanted more coffee. He joked that only if it came with another speech. She laughed. And for the first time in weeks, Caleb smiled genuinely. As she walked away, he noticed something important. The energy in the restaurant shifted whenever Sienna was nearby. Customers relaxed, the tension eased slightly, but the fear was still there. The staff moved carefully, quietly. Gordon watched them like a predator, waiting for a mistake. Caleb took another sip of his coffee. The marigold table had a soul, and someone was trying to destroy it. When Sienna brought the check, Caleb asked how long she'd worked there. "Long enough to know this place could be amazing," she said, and that Gordon was probably born yelling. Caleb left a generous tip. She stared at it in disbelief. "Is this real?" "Consider it a thank you," he said, "for reminding me that honesty still exists." She smiled. "That's the only thing keeping us sane around here." As Caleb stood to leave, she walked him to the door. "Come back anytime," she said, "mysterious stranger." "I think I will," he replied, "sooner than you expect." Outside, Caleb paused and looked back through the window. Inside, Sienna was smiling at another customer, hiding her exhaustion. Gordon watched from the shadows. Caleb already knew what he had to do. If he wanted to understand this place, really understand it, he couldn't just observe. He had to live it. And that decision would change everything. The next morning, Caleb Mercer sat alone in his private office, staring out at the city skyline through floor-to-ceiling glass windows. Normally, this view calmed him. Today, it didn't. His mind wasn't on contracts, investments, or quarterly reports. It was on a waitress with tired eyes and fearless sarcasm. On a restaurant filled with quiet fear. And on a manager who clearly enjoyed having power over people who couldn't fight back. Caleb turned his chair slightly and picked up his phone. "Evan," he said when the call connected, "I need a favor. A very specific one." On the other end, his personal assistant responded immediately. "Of course, what do you need?" "I want a job at the marigold table." There was a pause. "A job as in?" "As a waiter." Another pause, longer this time. "You're serious?" Evan said slowly. "Yes," Caleb replied. "No one can know who I am. I need a fake name, Fake background, everything. Silence. "Caleb," Evan finally said, "you're talking about going undercover in your own restaurant." "That's exactly what I'm talking about." "May I ask why?" Caleb looked back out the window, thinking of Sienna's calm defiance, and the way the rest of the staff flinched at Gordon's voice. "Because reports don't show fear," he said, "and numbers don't show abuse. I want the truth." Another pause. "All right," Evan said. "Give me 24 hours." Caleb ended the call and leaned back in his chair. For the first time in years, he felt nervous and strangely excited. The following morning, Caleb parked 3 blocks away from the restaurant. Not in his luxury car, but in an old, forgettable sedan Evan had arranged. He wore faded jeans, a plain gray shirt, and worn sneakers. No watch, no wallet that screamed money. Just another guy looking for work. He walked to the back entrance of the Marigold table, where a small sign read, "Employees Only." As he reached for the door, a familiar voice stopped him. "Hey, wait!" Caleb turned. Sienna stood behind him, coffee in hand, a backpack slung over one shoulder. She squinted at him for a second. Then her eyes widened. "You're the coffee guy," she said. "From the other day." He smiled awkwardly. "Guilty." She tilted her head. "So, why are you hanging around the employee entrance?" Caleb swallowed. He hadn't expected this so soon. I got a job here," he said. "Starting today." Her mouth fell open. Then she burst out laughing. "Wait, you?" She looked him up and down. "Here? Is that a problem?" "No," she said, still laughing. "Just, wow, good luck. You're going to need it." She pushed the door open and motioned for him to follow. Inside, the break room was small and cramped. Old lockers, faded paint, the smell of burnt coffee. A few other employees stood around quietly, barely acknowledging him. Sienna glanced at him. "What was your name again?" "Luke," he said quickly. "Luke Carter." She smirked. "Everyone, this is Luke, new waiter. Try not to scare him off before lunch." A couple of employees gave weak smiles. Caleb grabbed an apron from an empty locker and tried to put it on. Sienna watched for a second, then burst out laughing again. "You know that's backwards, right?" Caleb looked down and groaned. "Of course it is." "Oh, this is going to be fun," she said. "You're already my favorite." The first hour was a disaster. Caleb struggled with trays, nearly dropped plates, apologized to customers more times than he could count. At one point, he almost sent a full tray sliding onto the floor, until Sienna appeared out of nowhere, steadying it with one hand. "Easy," she said quietly. "Hold it from underneath. And breathe. It's not going to explode." "Thank you," he muttered, embarrassed. "You're welcome," she replied. "But this lesson costs you dessert after the shift." Despite himself, Caleb smiled. Throughout the day, she helped him constantly, showing him shortcuts, fixing his mistakes, turning every awkward moment into a joke. "You walk like the tray insulted your family," she teased. "Relax." I'm trying. Try harder, or accept your fate as the most stressed waiter in history. The other staff kept their distance. Caleb noticed how carefully they moved, how rarely they spoke. And then Gordon appeared. The moment his voice echoed through the dining room, the air changed. "Luke!" Caleb turned. "What are you standing around for?" Gordon snapped. "This isn't a museum. Move!" "Yes, sir," Caleb said calmly. Gordon hovered nearby the rest of the shift, criticizing every small thing, watching closely, enjoying the power. Sienna eventually stepped in. "He's new," she said. "Everyone messes up at first." Gordon turned on her immediately. "Oh, here we go," he sneered. "You think you run this place?" "No," Sienna replied evenly. "I just think you don't have to treat people like garbage." "Watch your mouth," Gordon warned. "Or what?" she shot back. "You'll yell louder?" The room went silent. Gordon stormed away. Caleb stared at her, stunned. "You didn't have to do that," he said quietly. "Yes, I did," she replied. "Someone should." Something shifted inside him. Over the next few days, Caleb saw everything. Gordon yelling, public humiliation, threats disguised as motivation. One afternoon, Caleb witnessed Gordon berating a pregnant cook for being too slow. Something inside him snapped. He wanted to reveal everything right then, but he didn't. Instead, he started writing. Dates, names, behavior, witnesses, and always, always Sienna. She worked harder than anyone, smiled through everything, used humor like armor. During a short break, they sat outside behind the restaurant. Caleb asked why she stayed. She shrugged. "Jobs are jobs. Dreams don't pay rent." Then she admitted she wanted to be a chef, to open her own place someday. Caleb listened, heart heavy. She had talent, and no one here saw it. One evening, Caleb found Sienna staring at a paper in her locker. A warning notice. One more mistake, and she'd be fired. She tried to laugh it off, but he saw the truth. And that night, Caleb Mercer realized something painful. Pretending was no longer harmless, because somewhere along the way, he'd started to care. The truth came out on a crowded afternoon. The restaurant was full. Plates clinked, voices blended together, and for a brief moment, everything looked almost normal. Then, Gordon spoke, loud enough for everyone to hear. He stood near the center of the dining room, holding a piece of paper in his hand, his face twisted with satisfaction. "This is what I've been talking about," he said. "Some people think they're special, think rules don't apply to them." Sienna froze. Caleb felt it instantly, the shift in the room, the tension snapping tight. Gordon continued, waving the paper. "I have proof that Sienna Brooks has been stealing restaurant ingredients to practice for a cooking competition." The room went silent. Sienna turned slowly. Her face went pale. "That's not true," she said. "I paid for everything myself." "Really?" Gordon smiled. "Then maybe you'd like to explain why suppliers are missing inventory." Caleb took a step forward, then another, and before he could stop himself, he spoke. "That's enough." Every head turned. Gordon laughed. "You've got something to say, Luke?" Caleb looked around the room, at the staff, at the customers, at Sienna, whose eyes were locked on his. "Yes," he said calmly. "I do." He took a breath. "My name isn't Luke Carter." A murmur spread through the room. "My name is Caleb Mercer," he continued, "and I own this restaurant." The silence that followed was absolute. Gordon's smile vanished. Sienna stared at him, disbelief written across her face. Caleb explained everything: why he came undercover, what he saw, what he documented. He spoke about fear, about abuse, about leadership that ruled through humiliation. Then he looked directly at Gordon. "And you're fired. Effective immediately." Gordon tried to argue, tried to threaten, tried to save face. But it was over. Security escorted him out. The staff stood stunned. Sienna didn't say a word. She took off her apron and walked out. Caleb didn't see her for weeks. She quit that same day. Didn't answer his calls, didn't reply to his messages. The restaurant changed. New management, better pay, a healthier environment. On paper, it was thriving, but it felt empty. The laughter was gone. The warmth was gone. And every corner reminded Caleb of what he had lost. Sienna, meanwhile, took her prize money from the competition and left town to help her mother recover from surgery. When she returned, she didn't go back to serving tables. She bought a food truck, painted it soft blue, and named it Second Chances. The menu was simple, honest, personal, and people loved it. 2 months later, Caleb was walking through downtown when he smelled something familiar. Warm spices, comfort, home. He followed the scent, and there she was, Sienna, laughing as she handed food through the window of her truck, confident, free, alive. He stood in line like everyone else. When it was his turn, she looked up and froze. They stared at each other. He ordered quietly. She served him. No anger, no smile, just distance. He ate at a small table nearby. The food was incredible. When he finished, he stood and walked back to the truck. "I'm not here to fix anything," he said softly. "I just wanted to say, I'm proud of you." She looked at him for a long moment. "I did this on my own," she said. "I know," he replied. "That's why it matters." She exhaled. "I needed honesty," she said. "And time." "I know." Silence. Then she smiled. Just a little. "You still drop things?" "All the time," he said. "Some skills never leave you." She laughed. That was all it took. 6 months later, the Marigold table reopened. Not as it was, but as it should have been. Sienna was the executive chef, a partner, an equal. The walls were brighter, the staff louder, the food full of soul. And on opening night, with the restaurant full and alive, Caleb stood up and told the truth again. This time, not to confess, but to promise. He asked her to marry him. She said yes, with conditions, and laughter, and love. Because in the end, this wasn't a story about money, or disguises, or power. It was a story about seeing people, about choosing honesty, and about 2 lives that changed because of 3 simple words. You look exhausted. What did you think of this story? Leave a comment below and rate it from 0 to 10. And don't forget to subscribe for more emotional stories.